Hello. Hello.
Sally, how are you?
Good, good, very good. Thank you. It's been a while.
It has nearly 2 years, I think.
Yeah. So fast. Yeah. How you doing?
Not too bad.
Not too bad.
What did you do when you first went to Canberra? You were still studying, weren't you?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. When I met you, yeah, I was studying.
Yeah. What did you do when you first went to Canberra?
Actually, because I had to pass the exam, English exam.
Yeah.
And
So after you went to Canberra, what did you do then? Were you working at all?
I was seeking for IT job, but I couldn't find
Yeah.
because at the time I
Right.
didn't have the proper visa, like
Yeah, okay.
permanent residence.
Yep.
So
Yep.
yes, I was
Yep.
struggling, and anyway, I had to work. So that's why. But fortunately, I passed the exam, and then I started my tutoring.
So
as I said.
did you finally do the IELTS exam, or did you change to the Peterson test?
Yeah, Pearson test because I took a few times IELTS, but I couldn't achieve 8 because I had to achieve 8. It's so hard.
For PR, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
for PR. That's why I gave up.
So-
and then
So what made the Peterson test easier for you?
because if you take PT, you can improve your oral fluency, and you have to fix your pronunciation because otherwise you can't pass the speaking. Because PT, it's more focusing on speaking rather than different components compared to IELTS. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Because PT
Yeah,
is
I
speaking.
understand.
It's very advantageous when it comes to taking PT because IELTS is everything separate. The speaking, listening.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
But PT
Yep.
is integrated scoring. If you get good score in speaking, you might get good score reading, listening. Because some question types, scores goes to reading, listening as well.
I've had just a little bit of experience with the PET. I'm helping a Chinese student here.
Yeah, you
whose
said.
English is quite good, but
Okay.
he has not been able to get a decent score. He's still running about 75% of what he needs in the Pearson test, and he can't get past that. One of his problems is that he's doing one-on-one tutoring with a guy in Sydney. He's going down to Sydney every week and having a one-on-one lesson with him. But that is not helpful because the guy has no teaching credentials at all. His only claim to fame, he's Chinese, so he doesn't understand things like emphasis and that. I've talked to this guy and he says, no, he doesn't talk about those things. So all he's doing is trying to teach my friend techniques of tricking the computer into giving him a better score. He's not actually teaching, it's done in Chinese. So he's not actually learning any English at all, and that is a big concern for me because I disagree with the propaganda from the Peterson test. They say it's unbiased. It's biased as well. It's biased in a different way. But for instance, why did you ask to have a Zoom meeting? Because communication is more than just talking. It's, you say, what? What's that? Oh, can you say that a little bit slower? Can you find it? I didn't quite understand that. And so the computer is not going to respond to those sort of things which are part of speaking, really. My attitude is that English is spoken all over the world. Mostly it's spoken badly. But everyone still communicates. Get over it.
Yeah. That's right.
So,
that's exactly.
Yeah, so I've had a lot of good discussions with this lady as we've worked through some of these things and looking at where the problems are. And the Japanese government were supposed to this year, forgetting about COVID, they were supposed to have introduced a basic speaking test into the graduate university entrance exams because there's never been a speaking test as part of the university entrance.
Yeah, that's right. Never.
So what happened? They were due to they'd taken parts out of the TOEFL test and that sort of thing too. It was just a basic speaking thing.
Mhm.
Tried to introduce that, but it got too hard for the Ministry of Education, and then there was a couple of political scandals as well about that within the Education Department over there.
Mhm.
And they scrapped it and they said, we'll have a look at it again in 2024. That's crazy, because when I looked at what they were going to introduce, it really wasn't a speaking test at all. It was a memory test and a comprehension test.
Yep.
Now, have a look at my picture here.
Mhm.
You can see it for 10 seconds. Right, answer these questions. How many balls did you see? Was the girl reading a book or looking at the computer? So it was only a memory test. It wasn't any two-way discussion or anything like that. It was terrible. So I'm glad they didn't introduce it, but they've got nothing.
Yeah, that's funny.
I've had some interesting experiences in Japan because there's only the textbook way of doing something in Japan, for learning English.
Mhm.
How are you? I'm fine.
Yeah.
Thank you. How are you? And
Yeah.
if you vary that,
Mhm.
what I find a lot of it is cultural, not to do with language at all.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So do you think I'm fine?
So most of the
that expression is I'm fine. That expression is weird to native speakers. How are you? I'm fine. It sounds like not fine.
No. It's not weird. It's not weird.
It's proper.
Except that we've got many ways of saying it. So I might say, if you say, how are you? I might say, oh, I'm fine. That's I might answer that way. I might say, oh, I'm good. I'm okay. Not too bad. Any of those are quite acceptable. But if you just restrict yourself to one thing, I'm fine. This lady I was telling you about in Oita, her son at that stage was probably, he would have been about 11 or so just learning English there, but he wanted to speak to me on the phone. I know the family well. I stay with them every time I'm in Japan. So Naoki wanted to talk to me. And I said, hello, Naoki, how are you? I'm fine, thank you. How are you? I said, I'm fine, thank you. How are you? I'm fine, thank you. How are you? Oh, I'm fine, thank you. How are you? I'm fine, thank you. How are you? And his mother was sitting behind. I could hear her laughing, and she wasn't trying to help him. The poor kid was caught. He did not know how to get out of the loop.
Yeah, that's a loop.
So funny. It was so funny.
It doesn't stop.
And there's often, it's like a bird parroting. There's no real, shortcut for pronunciation. That once you overcome some, some basic things that we don't have too many problems going from English to Japanese. There's a couple of them. The LTD, when you get those sort of sounds, Japanese is a soft language.
Yeah.
There's no spitting involved. There's none of those hard sounds. What? That's all. I live in Wollongong. So those hard sounds where you're forcing air out is the problem for you that you've got to work on.
The name of Woolworths is very hard to pronounce.
It's only the w.
Yeah.
And, I got an email from her husband one time because they lived near the university, and he says, Eric, what have you done to my wife? He said, she's sitting up in bed going, what? And all the dogs are coming round. Side.
The Japanese consonant is weaker than vowel because Japanese are more vowel focused, like or something in the end of the word always like elongated, just like a bit longer sound.
Yeah. And one of the problems with learning English in school and university is that I don't know how you overcome this problem. You need more opportunities to speak. I do a lot of teaching in writing. That's the area that I'm interested in, and I'm always trying to get people to.
Today's words: fair enough, decent score, credential, propaganda, scrap, bird parroting, Woolworths, elongated.